Hi guys! I'm going to just go start off by doing the wiggle on the microphone before we even get started. So, all right, giving it a little wiggle, seeing how that helps out. How are we doing? How is everybody? Hi, Miss Anita. Hi, Patty. How are you today? Guys, we made it through another week. We are so much closer to the holidays. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? Like, December is flying by. Absolutely flying by. Hey, Joan, how are ya? Hi, Shirley. So good. There's Miss Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Kathy, how's the audio? Does it sound okay? I could ask anybody else that too, but I don't know. Oh, goodness. Get adjusted in my seat here. I just can't get comfortable today. I have the wiggles. Oh, goodness. Hi, Ramona. Oh, I'm so glad to see everybody. Happy Friday indeed, Rosalinda. Happy Friday indeed. I have been working feverishly towards the finish line of this week. And honestly, I have to work all day tomorrow too, but once I get through with tomorrow, like I can kind of breathe a little bit. So I'm really kind of looking forward to that. Sunday, I'm going to make some snacks. It's Sarah Day. I like it. I'll take it. I would love to be Sarah Day on Fridays. I'm okay with that. Just don't make Mondays Sarah Day. Did anybody see my Monday show? Oh, wow. Yeah. Hi, all. Hi, Eve. Hey, Joan. Oh, hi, Rosanna. So good to see everybody. So I'm just letting everybody kind of trickle in here before I get started with all the goodness that is happening, because it is Sarah Day, kind of. I mean, unofficially. I got a lot going on today, and I'm happy to have all of you. Hey, girl. Hey, Randy. Hi, Maggie. I'm so glad to have you guys along for the ride. It's always fun, right? It's always fun. And Fridays are a fun way to end the week, and I'm making it extra fun to end the week because a snack shenanigans is happening this afternoon. That's right. It's that time again. It's been it's been a minute since I've done a snack shenanigans, because you guys know the holidays just kind of like put a major strain on your bank account, and like ordering snacks from other places is not exactly a cost-effective way to snack, I will just say. But it's all right because I really enjoy it. I think it's funny, and I think that you guys enjoy it. And it's a nice little break from everything that's going on. Like, December is so jam-packed full of stuff. The Destination North Pole is going on. Nilay's event starts next week as well. There are endless lives, and there is so much learning and so much information that sometimes you just need a little break, and that's exactly what our snack shenanigans is all about. So that will be happening this afternoon at 5:30. I know that's kind of a weird time, but I'm giving myself a little 30-minute buffer in between my live over on Jewel Loom and the snack shenanigans. So I have like 30 minutes to kind of reset. So that's what's going on for the day, right? We've got a project right now here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to get down to that. I've got a 4 p.m. Facebook Live over on the Jewel Loom group. If you guys are not part of the Jewel Loom group and you are interested even in the slightest way of working with the Jewel Loom, or maybe you got a Jewel Loom in your Destination North Pole bag, please come over and join the Jewel Loom group and hang out with us. Today we're actually going to be making a bracelet on the fiber loom using Nilay's Silver Silk, which actually go together perfectly. So I'm really looking forward to that project. That's at 4 p.m. All of these times, guys, are Eastern time. I feel like most of you probably know that by now, but we do have some new people. So definitely make notes for all of that. So we've got a project right now. We've got another project on Jewel Loom at 4 p.m. And then 5:30 p.m. right here is going to be the snack shenanigans. I've got a box of treats from India. I have those most horrible candy corn that are flavored like turkey dinner. I don't even know what those are going to taste like, but I have a feeling they're going to be pretty bad. I've got some pickle cotton candy, some clam flavored candy canes, and then just a couple of little odds and ends. So it should be it should be fun as always, right? So yeah, that's the plan for the day. Before we get to today's project, though, I want to mention something to you all that maybe some of you who are not part of the Jewel Loom do not know yet. Guys, Juliana and I, over on the Jewel Loom, we've actually got a kit put together of a project that you do on any of the looms. You can literally do it on any of the looms, except for the large goddess loom, just because, I mean, you could technically do it on the goddess loom, but you would have like leftover workspace and you would use up a lot of materials. But yeah, Tina says, clam flavored? That's what I said. Yep. That's not a joke. Do not adjust your set. I don't even like clams, so that'll be interesting. But we've got a kit, guys, and it is for sale right now on the Jewel Loom website. So if you're interested in grabbing a kit that Jules and I put together, the way that it works is you grab the kit. Inside the kit is everything you need to create the project. It is a pendant, a really beautiful pendant, and earrings that go with it. So it's technically two things, right? You get everything you need. And the earring charms and the pendant charm are handmade wood, really, really beautiful. And then we're going to do a private Facebook Live the first week of, not the first week of January, I'm sorry, January 14th. And of course, I'll remind all of you about that as well. On January 14th, you will get the private instructions for how to put together the project. So if you're interested in that, please come over to the Jewel Loom website and grab one of the kits. Jules and I have been working really hard on those. And we only have a few of those left. We're like right on the sell out line. So please come over if you're interested, grab one of those. If you were on the waiting list for those, now is the time to grab those and get them before they are gone, because they will be gone. They will be gone. And this is just the first of a monthly project kit that she and I are actually putting together. So this is kind of us getting our feet wet with this. Jules has been in the industry forever and she knows all about sales and stuff. So, but for me, like, this is literally like my first experience in actually selling some sort of monthly project. So I'm really excited about it. Come check it out if you want to. Like I said, just go over to the Jewel Loom not the Facebook page, jewelloom.com to grab your kit. It's on the front page. You cannot miss it. Okay. The only thing about it that I will mention before we get started with today's project is that you cannot use any discounts on it since it's a brand new project. So please don't use your affiliate link, since I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm getting the proceeds from it regardless, right? So if you use the affiliate link, then I have to do major math. So just don't use the affiliate link on it. You can use the affiliate link on anything else on the webpage if you want to. Just make sure that in particular, that project is not used with the link. Okay, so a lot of things going on today, guys. This is just the first of 3 lives, so we better not waste any more time and get right down to it. So what is today's project? Some of you have already seen the teaser pic that gets posted when there is a project coming up. Sometimes I have a picture, sometimes I don't. Fortunately, I had a picture to share with you guys for this one. So these earrings, they look, people have sent me messages and they're like, oh, this looks really hard. This is not hard. Please do not be intimidated by this project. It is super, super easy once you see how to put it together. If you're kind of a beginner with wire wrapping, you're going to be able to get this one down, no problems. I promise you. And if you have any problems, as always, you can reach out to me and I will definitely help you with any of your questions. That being said, I promise we're going to get to the project. I just have a lot of information to share with you guys. If you happen to send me a Facebook message through the Sarah Ellis Designs Facebook page, for whatever reason, Facebook never gives me any of the notifications for that, and I very, very rarely see those. So if you send me a question there, it may take me 2 weeks to even see it, which makes me seem like the most irresponsible business owner in the entire world. I promise you that is not the case. I just do not see those messages. So the best way to message me is just to send me a direct message through Facebook. If we're not Facebook friends, make friends with me on Facebook, and then you absolutely know 100% that your message is going to come through to my Facebook Messenger. Just kind of take out the middleman, because those Facebook messages on the business page, for whatever reason, Facebook just ignores those. So I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you all, is my point. Also, I want to be sure that those of you who have not joined the Sarah Ellis Designs community, please come over and join the group. I've got some things planned for the first of the year, and I want you guys to all be the first ones to know about it. It's a great place to get inspiration. Come post your designs, whether, you know, they are based on projects that I show you or not. Vicky, you crack me up. I've got a picture, Vicky. I'll post it for you to see, where it's a picture of me and Jessica Rabbit, like side by side. It's kind of scary. Like, I don't know. If I was ever a cartoon, I would definitely be her. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Just come join the Sarah Ellis Designs community page or community group. We're working on a D-Stash group as well. It's a lot of fun. So just come hang out with us. That's where you get all of the fun things that are non-jewelry related and jewelry related. Okay. All right. Enough. Let's get down to business. This earrings project, I'm going to hold one up to show it to you so that you can see it, for those of you who have not seen the teaser pic of these. So if you are looking to make some last minute holiday jewelry to wear for yourself or to give as a gift, these can be altered, right? I've used Christmas colors for these, but you can do these in any color that you want to. And it very much reminds me of a wreath, right? With the berries all on one side, and then you've got your greenery on the bottom. This can be put together with any beads that you want to. You're going to need 3 to 4 millimeter beads for the little berry section here, which is actually done separately from the hoop. And then I bring the two together with some 26 gauge wire. Okay. I'm going to show you exactly how to do all of that. It is not nearly as difficult as I think that it looks to some of you. So don't be discouraged. Let's get down to it and get started, because I promise this one's a lot easier than what you're thinking it is. All right, moving the camera, which means we've got to do the wiggle wiggle, so somebody let me know, okay? Let's do it. All right, so. All right, adjusting the audio. Let me know if it's okay, guys. All right, now I'm going to bring in some of the materials for the project, minus a little bit of the wire. All right, I'm hoping the audio is okay. I know there's a little bit of a delay. All set? Yay! Awesome. Okay, it's good. Yay! Getting lucky today. I hope that's a good sign for the project. All right, so let me give you another close up of the earrings so that you can kind of see. So what we're going to do to get started is we're going to create the hoop portion of this first, and then we are going to create the berry section, and then we're going to bring those together and wire wrap the berries onto the hoop, okay? And just do not, cinnamon buns. Just don't be intimidated by this. I promise you can do this. If you don't want to do the wrapped loops down here, you can do simple loops, but we'll get to that part here in just a little bit. Okay, so what you're going to need to get started with the hoop portion is you're going to need about a 6-inch piece of 18 gauge wire. You can use 16 gauge for this. Just keep in mind that it will make your loop section up here at the top a little bit bulkier than you might want. If 20 gauge is all you have, I would really suggest work hardening it a lot, like a lot. You totally can do it, but I can't make any promises that you're going to be able to retain that hoop shape. Okay, so let's do the hoop first. Okay, so we're going to use the artistic wire mandrel tool to create the hoop and about 6 inches of the 18 gauge wire. Okay, and normally we make our hoop on the biggest portion of the mandrel just because I'm always in the crowd of bigger is better, but we're actually going to bump it up just a little bit and make it a little bit smaller. So this portion of the mandrel is actually 25 millimeters. If you do not have one of these artistic wire mandrel tools to create with, anything that is going to be about 25 millimeters around is going to work. And I know that a lot of prescription bottles, I know that's weird, but I know a lot of you store your beads in prescription bottles that you're not using anymore. A prescription bottle a lot of times will be right at 25 millimeters. So it's a good one to grab, or anything else that you've got laying around that will work, okay? All right, so I'm just going to take the wire, find the middle, place it on that portion of the mandrel tool and kind of hold it with my thumb, okay? Then I'm going to guide the wire around bringing it all the way around so that the wires are coming together. And then I kind of just want to smash the wires down a bit so that they're kind of crisscrossing. Okay, that's just going to kind of ensure that I definitely have the complete hoop shape here. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my pliers. And I'm just going to take one of these. I'm going to leave the wire on the mandrel while I do this. I'm going to take one of these pieces of wire and bend it straight up and down. Okay, so that's what you've got. And then I'm going to take the other piece of the wire and just wrap it around that straight section about 2 or 3 times. Okay, and I like to leave it on the tool while I do this, but if you feel like you can manage it while it's not on the tool, go for it. I just feel like I have a little bit more control when I keep it on the tool. Okay. All right. Now I'm ready to take it off. So I'm going to slide that off of there, and we've got our hoop shape. And then you can come in and kind of straighten up. If your wire wraps are a little off to the side, you can straighten those up. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and go ahead and trim off the tail. Okay, so we're not going to do a wrapped loop. We're actually going to fake it. It's going to look like a wrapped loop, but it's totally not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to bend that wire off to one side. Okay, and I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off. Now, I need a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch, which is what we normally use to make a loop, just a simple loop. When I'm using the 18 gauge wire, I do like it to be a little bit bigger, so it's going to be right around, probably right below 1/2 inch as far as how much wire you want to leave behind. Okay. All right, now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers and roll that over to create our loop. And it very much looks like a wrapped loop, but it is not. we kind of cheated a little bit, right? All right, so there we go. Now we have our hoop. I'm going to put this on the block, and I'm going to work harden it just a little bit. I don't have to do a whole lot of work hardening to this. This 18 gauge wire is fairly sturdy, but I do want to hammer on it just a little bit. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Steel block, and I'm going to use my nylon jaw. Nylon jaw. No, it does not have a jaw. My nylon hammer. Okay. Now all we're doing is just work hardening this. Oh, thank you, Wanda. I like to make components too. All right, now like I said, not a lot of work hardening there. I just want to be sure that it's going to retain that shape as we are working on it, because your fingers do have a tendency to warm up the wire, and then it makes it a little bit softer. And you can always put it back down on the mandrel if you need to, just to make sure that you still have that nice round shape. But for the most part, you should be good to go. If it is more of like an egg shape, nobody's even going to notice. Trust me, once we get that beaded section on here, nobody will know the difference. So don't stress about it a whole lot. Okay. All right, I'm going to take this and sit this to the side because we don't need this at the moment. Okay, what we do need though is we need about 12 inches of 26 gauge wire. Now this is a really thin wire that I normally do not use. In fact, it is artistic wire, which is something that I don't use a whole lot of either. But for what we're going to be doing, it's really probably the best choice. I've tried to do this with 24 gauge wire and it does work. So if 24 is all you have, you absolutely can do this, but it is a little bit more temperamental. I know it doesn't seem like a big difference, but it really is. So you're going to need about 12 inches of the 26 gauge wire. Okay. And I'm using the silver that matches my component, but you can do this in whatever color wire you want. Okay. And I cut more than I needed because I'm always that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, for our little beads, I'm using these are actually 3.5 millimeter. They're just little Chinese crystals that I picked up at a bead show. I just haven't used them yet. They're really pretty. They're red, but then they have that kind of green to them. So I thought they were perfect for Christmas. or just the holidays in general, because there are a lot of bushes that have berries on them, like the holly bushes, and a couple other ones that have this beautiful red going on this time of year. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread on 4. I pulled out 5, but I'm going to thread 4 of these on to our 26 gauge wire. Okay, and then I want to bring these to the center of this piece of wire. Okay, so you just want to drop those down and kind of let them fall to the middle of the wire, so you've got pretty much even wire on either side. Now what we want to do is we want to take bead number 5 and thread it on to the end of one end of the wire, and then take the other end of the wire and thread it through the same bead. That's why this 26 gauge is the perfect size for this, because you can get it through the bead twice. Okay, so now we've got the tail, both tails of our wire going in opposite directions, okay, coming through that one bead. And then you just want to pull, and pull slow so that you are still kind of pulling evenly, and you're going to have this little flower shape right in the middle of your 12-inch piece of wire. Okay, when you pull, you've got yourself a little flower. Okay, and you've got your wire coming out opposite directions of that one bead. Okay, now we're going to make 4 more of these, but they're all going to share a bead, so I only need to pick up 4 beads. But because I want these to go in kind of a crescent shape, I want to take 2 beads on the left hand wire. Okay, drop 2 beads down on the left side. I want to drop 1 bead down on the right side. Okay, and so that's really important. Just make sure that you've got 2 on one side and 1 on the other side. I do left to right. That way I always know that on the left it's always going to be 2 beads. So don't switch them up on me, okay? Your little beaded section will look kind of funny. All right, now for our last bead, which is going to be number 4, I want to cross the wires in bead number 4 again. So it doesn't matter which side you thread it on initially, just hold on to it and then cross the other wire through it as well. So you've got 2 wires running through bead number 4, okay, and then we're going to pull down. Okay, and because it's wire and it's not thread, you have to be kind of patient with it when you're pulling it all down. It doesn't travel smoothly like bead weaving thread does. Okay, all right, now we have 2 little flowers, and you can see they're already starting to make kind of a curve. Okay, that's because we've got 2 beads on one side and 1 bead on the other side. That's what's going to create that cool curved shape. Okay, so now we're ready to do another one. So 2 beads onto the left side. Okay, and now we're going to do 1 bead on the right side. Okay, drop that down. And now for our 4th bead, you want both wires to go through it in opposite directions. So just thread it onto one, thread the other one, going in the opposite direction. Okay, and then pull. Okay, and now we have 3. Okay, now we need 2 more. So we're going to do 2 on the left. Okay, drop those down. We're going to do 1 on the right. Okay. Now we're going to take 1 and do the crisscross. Okay, oops, sorry. and then pull. Okay. And now we have 4. We just need one more. Thank you, Ramona. That was really pretty, isn't it? I think it's the beads. I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty little flowered, you know, thing. They look like flowers, they look like berries, but I think it's the beads that just make it so pretty because they're so sparkly. I really, really think it has to do with the beads that you pick out. And the cool thing is that you can use Chinese crystals, you can use Swarovski crystals, you can use gemstone beads, just whatever is about 3 or 4 millimeters, and that's going to change up the look. So you could do this entire project in different colors, and this will work in the spring and summer as well, right? Just use whites or pinks or, you know, something more kind of spring and summer. But I feel like the red was just perfect for the holidays in the winter time. All right, so there's 2 on one on the other. We need to crisscross one more time, and then I'm going to show you how to finish this. Okay. And see, so far, I've not shown you anything super hard, and we're almost done, believe it or not. So, all right, crisscrossing and pulling down. Okay, now we have all 5, and they make that cool little arched kind of crescent shape. Now I have to cut off some of my wire because I cut way too much wire to start with. You don't need all of this to do what I'm about to do. In fact, if you leave all that extra tail, it's going to be really hard to work with. So if you cut as much wire as I did, you want to trim some of that down so that you're only working with a couple of inches on both sides. The only thing we need to do at this point is kind of put the wire in a place where it's not going to come undone. And because I don't want there to be any wire wrapping involved here, I just want this to be these beautiful flower shapes without any extra bulk. All I want to do is take this wire and go through the next bead, this wire and go through this next bead, and then I'm just going to trim them off, because once we get this wire wrap to the component, it's not going to move and I don't have to worry about the wires separating and the piece coming apart. Okay, so all I'm going to do is the wire that's over here on the left, I'm going to go through the very next bead. Okay, and then pull. This part is probably the most tricky part of the entire thing, just because you want to be gentle with the wire. You don't want to destroy that flower shape, and you very easily can do that by trying to wiggle this wire through the next bead. So just go slow, use your pliers, and make sure that you don't have any like sharp bends in the wire. The more kind of rounded you can keep it, the easier it's going to be. And you can see how I pulled it out of shape. You're just going to wiggle everything back into shape and pull on the wires again to bring it back to that flower shape. Okay, so there, that wire was originally exiting this bead. Now it's exiting the bead next to it. Okay, I'm not going to trim the tail off yet because I need this to pull on if I get it out of shape again. So now I'm going to take this tail and go through this bead. Okay. Just go slow with it, because you're working in kind of a small area. So there's the tail. Pull it through and then just kind of straighten up the wire and kind of help to guide it through, so that I'm not pulling on like major bends and kinks, right? I really want to kind of make it as easy as possible by keeping it as, you know, as much of a little bubbly shape as possible. And pull. Okay. Now that's it. That's all I'm going to do to secure the wire because, like I said, we're going to attach this to our component, so I don't have to worry that there's going to be a whole lot of movement here, which is going to cause our wire to come, you know, out of those beads. So I'm just going to very carefully come in with my cutter tool and trim off the ends. No wire wrapping necessary with any of this. I tried it with wire wrapping. It was just too bulky. So that was my answer, was just to go through the next bead in the little flower shape, cut it off and call it a day. All right, so that's done, right? That's finished. The hoop is finished. Now we just have to put the two of these together. Okay. And to do that, we're going to need another piece of the 26 gauge wire, and you're going to need about 10 to 12 inches, probably not nearly 12 inches, but that was kind of the measurement that I gave. So I want this to go on the left side of the component. Okay. This is going to sit right on top of the component, just like that. But the first thing that I have to do is I have to anchor this wire to the component first. And so I'm going to take my wire, and since we're working on the left side, that's where I want to anchor the wire. I'm laying the wire across the component over here on the left side of the wire wraps, and I'm just going to wire wrap a little bit. And really 3 is all you need to really kind of get this secure, but I'm going to just use up my tail. So however many wire wraps that is. Okay, that little guy, I'm going to come in and trim him off. Okay, and now I'm going to slide all of this up. Okay, now I want my wire to be coming from the back, right? So you can see the wire is coming out from behind the component. That's really, really important because we're going to wrap to the inside. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to lay the component on, okay, and I'm going to take this 26 gauge wire and I'm going to come between 2 beads towards the top. Well, I've got a bunch of grumpy faces. What happened? Who did I make mad? What can I do to fix it? Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to come between 2 beads, okay, and then between 2 beads down here on the bottom. Now, since we're working with five beads, right? It's hard to like pick a middle. So I'm going to consider this top bead right here. This is going to be like you can see my little wire sticking out right there. I'll have to fix that. But I'm going to consider this top bead, that's going to be our top of our little star. I'm coming 1 over, going between it. And then down here on the bottom, this bottom and this one, I'm going between those 2. Okay, so I'm kind of coming across at an angle, but it's definitely not centered because we've got 5 beads. Okay, so just whatever is going to work for you, that'll be what works. So now I'm going to bring my wire to the back, okay, so that I'm hooking the component as well. Okay, so we went around the beads, but then we also went around the component. Now I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going between 2 beads, okay, down here between the 2 beads. So just going diagonally across each one of the little flower sections and then to the back. That's what's going to keep this little section onto. That's okay, Carrie Lee. I was like, oh no, I made somebody really mad because I'm getting more than one. All right, so I'm just going to keep doing that. I want to place my wire in the same place for each one of the little flower sections, okay? And just be sure that you're going all the way behind and getting the component too, because otherwise when you let go, you're going to realize that you wire wrapped the beads, but you didn't actually wire wrap them to the component, and they're going to fall off. I did that the first time, not really paying attention to what I was doing, okay? So be sure that each section, you go diagonally across all the way around the component and then back up, okay? All right, so now I have all of those attached. Got my wire, you can see what it looks like on the back, okay? Now I'm just gonna finish it off with some wire wraps, pretty similar to how many I have up here at the top, down here at the bottom. And that's just going to act as a little extra security. Honestly, 3 wraps is really all you need for security. The rest of it just becomes kind of, you know, decoration, I guess. And the cool thing about this is that you could make another 6. So we did 5 little groupings of the flowers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 6th one would cover the center and another 5 up the side, and you could make an entire wreath, right? I only did half just because I thought it was kind of cool and different, and I like it. I like the asymmetrical, but you absolutely could keep going with your little berries or your little flowers and make an entire circle out of them and then wire wrap it to the component, and you would have the coolest looking wreath ever. And also, you can do this on a large scale. So we've made this into an earring. You could do it as a pendant if you wanted to, but you could do this with a larger hoop, and it would be, and okay, let's say we did it with made a wire hoop out of maybe some 12 gauge wire, 10 gauge wire on, like, I don't know, a Tupperware bowl, right? So I'm talking large, right? Maybe 12-inch diameter, and then some really big beads, and you would have either a really cool Christmas ornament or a decoration that you could hang in the window, you could hang on the door. I mean, the possibilities are endless. We've done this on a small scale, but you absolutely could do this on a large scale and make something really amazing for home decor, right? All right, so I've wrapped around a few times. I'm gonna go ahead and trim off my tail here. And I'm going to come up here and trim off this little guy because he's driving me crazy. Okay. All right. Now our component is complete. Now see, we didn't do anything super hard. You absolutely beginners out there who are beginning to wire wrap, I have no doubt in my mind that you can do this. You totally have got this. It looks complicated, but it's not. When you break it down into the individual steps, this is super doable. Okay. And the 26 gauge wire, because it's so soft, you're going to find that it is really easy to work with. Okay, so we've got that part, and you guys know how I am. I could leave it just like that and it's beautiful, but I gotta have dangles. I just have to. Like, I can't make jewelry without having some sort of extra movement going on. So we are going to use 2 more of our little beads here, and then I've got a Czech glass leaf here that we're gonna wire wrap and hang from the bottom, just so that I have a little extra. All right, so our little beads, I'm gonna put those on head pins. The only reason I'm not doing our own like knotted head pins for this is because these are such small beads, the knot would be just too overpowering for that little bead. So we're just gonna leave it just like it is and do our own little wrapped loop on a head pin and call it a day. If you don't wanna do a wrapped loop and you're not comfortable with those, a simple loop will work just as well. Okay, so whatever you're comfortable with is fine. So coming in with the round nose pliers, up and over, roll those pliers out of the way and take the wire over to the other side. And then we are going to wire wrap around, and we've got ourselves a little dangle ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to trim that off. And do one more. I'll go through this one a little bit slower because I kind of sped through that wire wrap right there. I take for granted that everybody's been here forever and you guys have seen me do these a million times, but I forget that sometimes we've got new people. So if you're new to wire wrapping, let's do a wire wrapped loop together, okay? So I drop my bead down on a head pin. I'm grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead with my chain nose pliers, okay? I'm going to bend the wire over the top of the chain nose pliers. So when I take that away, I've got that little space there. That little space is really important for bringing in my round nose pliers and then later doing the wire wraps. So the pliers do the measuring for you, which is super handy. You don't have to guess. Okay, so coming in with the round nose pliers, I'm going to take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers. I'm not moving the tool, I'm only moving the wire up and over. Okay, this is the shape that we've got, but I can't take the wire all the way over here to the other side because this bottom barrel of the pliers is in the way. So I'm simply going to just roll the pliers like that and adjust what was the bottom is now the top. Okay, now I can take that wire over to the other side and I'm going to wire wrap in that space between the loop and the top of the bead. Okay, and we've got our little wrapped loop ready to go. I'm going to trim off. Okay. All right, now these guys are ready to go, but we have to wire wrap this guy. Now, depending on what kind of leaves you've got, some of you may be super, super lucky and your leaf is drilled front to back. So all you have to do is just add a jump ring to it. That is like the easiest ever. Wanda, I will answer your question here in just a second. I just saw that go by. Give me just a minute because we will talk about that. So some of you will get to do this the easy way. The rest of us, if yours is drilled side to side like mine is, we're going to have to wrap this like a briolette. So I'm going to use a piece of 22 gauge wire for this just because the 26 is just way too small. Okay, so I'm going to thread that to the middle of about a 3.5, 4-inch piece of 22 gauge wire. Kind of bring it to the center. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And then I'm going to take one side of the wire and bend it up at an angle that is just kind of following the natural curve of the top of that bead, okay? Then I'm going to do the same thing over here on the other side, just following the natural curve of the bead, and then you've got a crisscross of your wires here at the top, okay? You've got that little triangle. I'm going to take one of those wires and use my pliers and bend it straight up and down. Okay, I chose the back wire. It doesn't really make any difference. Wanda's the teacher's pet. You guys are so funny. All right, and then I'm going to take the other wire and just give it a little bend. So now we've got kind of like an L shape going on. Okay. Now, I like to use my bent chain nose pliers to hold on to that little triangle section. And I like the bent chain nose pliers for it just because it keeps the pliers out of the way, right? So now I can take the wire that's going out this direction and wrap around that straight section about 2 times, 3 times, whatever you're happy with. I usually just do 2 because I'm actually going to have to do some more wraps on top of that with this wire. So I try to keep it to a minimum if I can, okay? I'm going to trim that off. And now we are going to just do a wire wrapped loop just like we would if those wire wraps that we just did were a bead. Okay, so you're just going to treat this the exact same way you would if that were a bead right there. Meaning I'm going to place my chain nose pliers right above, just right up against them. Okay, give the wire a bend. Now when I take it away, I've got that little bit of space just like if this were a bead right here. Wanda, you have yet to send me a single snack. I will have you know. I'm still waiting on those snacks. All right, I've got round nose pliers in place of the chain nose pliers. And again, up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Need to move those out of the way and take the wire over to the other side. Now I'm going to wire wrap in that space, and those wire wraps are just going to meet up with the wire wraps that are already there. Oh, goodness. Okay, and I've got room for about 3 wire wraps. And sometimes they come out looking pretty seamless. Other times they're a little off. That's okay. Nobody's going to be that close to this to ever know, right? Sometimes I can make it look like one seamless set of wire wraps. That's very rare, but it looks pretty good. I'm not mad at it. So I'm going to trim off the tail. And there we go. We have successfully wire wrapped a bead that is drilled side to side, which can be a challenge for some people. Okay. All right. Teacher's pet position open. Wanda's in detention now. Okay, now I just want to attach this to our hoop here, and so I'm just going to use a 4mm jump ring for this. You can use a 6 if you want to. I know 4mm jump rings are kind of small, so I wouldn't be mad if you used a 6 instead. I'm going to thread on our leaf, and then I'm going to thread our 2 little red beads in front of our leaf, and then I'm going to take the whole thing and attach it to our component, and then close the jump ring. Whoops. Just kidding. And then the only thing we have left to do, guys, is add the ear wire. All right, close that back. And ta-da! So pretty! So pretty. Okay, so just to go back through real quick, okay? So the component itself was 18 gauge wire, okay? We did our little flowers with 26 gauge wire, and then we wire wrapped them to the component with another piece of 26 gauge, okay? Down here, I used head pins for our dangles just because it was super easy and quick. And then I used a 22 gauge piece of German style wire to wire wrap our Czech glass flower. Okay, so we've got 3 different sizes of wire and also 2 head pins for this. You can alter that up if you want to. If 24 gauge is all you've got, you can do it here. Just keep in mind that it might be a little bit more challenging to get that 24 gauge wire through the beads that it needs to go through twice. Okay, that part, it's doable, but you just don't want to risk cracking your beads, so definitely double check before you like commit to your 24 gauge wire. Okay, all right, now we're going to add our ear wire to it, and we have 2 beautiful earrings that are fit for the holidays but could very well be turned into something just as beautiful for spring and summer. Right? Even for fall, you could do this in fall colors. It would look beautiful in the fall as well. And don't forget, you can go all the way around to do a full wreath if you want. And you can turn this into something big for like an ornament or to hang in a window. Any of those options is going to be really, really beautiful. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I think this was a fun one. I'm going to turn you around and we're going to talk about a couple of things before you guys go for the time being, okay? So let me turn you around. Wiggle, let me know if it's okay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is wait to make sure that the audio is okay. I'm going to go ahead and try these on while I'm making sure that the audio is good so that you guys can see these because they are so pretty. Okay, good. How pretty are those? I love, love, love. Wiggle. Okay, let me know if it's better. So pretty. So pretty. All good? Yay! I hope I didn't just mess it up. Put these on. Shouldn't you make opposites? Yeah, you absolutely could. I never do that. I never make opposites, but you absolutely could make opposites if you wanted to. It's up to you. I never think to do that. But I know people that really like them to be that way, so that the one is on one side and one goes the other way on the other side. But yeah, I always forget. But I don't think it matters that much. But I think they turned out really, really pretty. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I hope that you try it out. If you do try this out, definitely post it over on the Sarah Ellis Designs Facebook group so that I can see them. We can all see them. So much fun. So let me tell you guys a little something. Okay. So I actually was testing this design out on you guys. You guys were my unofficial guinea pigs. I know you didn't even know it was happening, but I was testing this out on you all because I'm actually going to start teaching classes for Michael's, the craft store, online in January. And those classes are free, you guys. They're free. You don't have to pay for them. And I will absolutely keep you guys updated as to when the first class is and when the projects are. So if you want an extra class to attend and an extra project, I'll be teaching virtual classes for Michael's online on the Michaels.com web. Well, I don't think it's Michaels.com. I don't know what the exact website is for Michael's, but I'll be teaching some virtual classes for them starting in January. And this was a project. This is not one of the classes, but this is one of the designs that I submitted for some marketing campaigns. So I just wanted to see how it went over with you guys. I actually did it in spring colors instead of for Christmas. And when I was trying to come up with a project for you guys, I was like, I'll do the exact same project because it's so pretty in Christmas colors. So be on the lookout. I don't know if that's going to be used in their marketing or not. I just send things to them and sometimes they use them and sometimes they don't. But if you see these in springtime colors coming up in the spring for 2021, you'll know this was one of the designs that you guys learned how to do. So I thought that was cool. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Joan says you'll do great at Michael's. I hope so. I'm excited about it. Guys, I'm actually doing that through Beadalon because I don't know if you guys know it or not, but Meredith Roddy over at Beadalon, she's actually been teaching virtual Michael's classes for a while now. And Michael's has asked Beadalon if we would be interested in doing more classes with them. And of course, Beadalon said yes, and we know the perfect person to do it. So I said, absolutely, I'm not going to pass up the chance to do that. So yeah. You guys will be able to have more classes with me. And I love that they're free, right? I think that that's great. That's, I feel good about sharing it with you guys because I know that you're not going to have to pay for those classes, which is super, super cool. And of course, you will be able to get, the materials list and all of those things ahead of time. I'll keep you guys updated so you won't miss any of that that's happening, okay? But that's coming up in January. Something else that I wanted to mention just for a second because I can't not. Can I show you guys my necklace here for just a second? Okay, so first of all, did you guys know that Pantone's new colors for next year, for 2021, are gray and yellow? At first, I was like, I don't know about that. But I'm okay with the gray because I love gray. Like, I love gray jewelry. My beautiful gray Swarovski. I've got these crystals running through here. And then these gorgeous, gorgeous chocolate moonstone beads that my friend Kathleen got me and sent me. So I made this yesterday and I was like, this is perfect for the new Pantone colors that are coming out. So I just had to show it off and kind of toot my horn a little bit like, look how pretty. But guys, it's just simple stringing is kind of the point that I'm making. Number one, I want to show off these gorgeous beads. But number two, like to just drive home that point that I have told you guys a million times is that jewelry making and beautiful jewelry does not have to be hard. This is just straight stringing, right? There was no technique involved here. That's a jump ring. I mean, so if you're ever looking for quick last minute gifts for people for the holidays, just pick out your favorite beads and string them up. I mean, that's the most beautiful gift you could ever get. These were the earrings that I had on that were matching my necklace here. But I just wanted to show you that. Okay, and last but not least, I want to show you our unofficial mascot for Sarah Ellis Designs. So get ready. You guys, this is Gordon. Gordon was sent to me by a dear, dear friend, Miss Atari. Atari, if you're out there watching, Gordon is safe and sound, and he is now the new mascot for Sarah Ellis Designs. So guys, say hello to Gordon. He is made out of a sock. He is super, super soft. He is just the sweetest ever. And my little friend, Atari, made him and sent him to me so that he could live here in the Sarah Ellis Designs studio. So I just wanted to publicly say, thank you, Atari. I love you. You are the sweetest. And this is Gordon. He is safe and sound. So everybody knows this is our mascot. Okay. All right. All right. So that is it, but just for a little while, right? Just for a little while, guys. That's all for me for now. So go take a break. Go do whatever you got to do. Make your boss think that you're actually accomplishing some work on this Friday when we all know that you are totally not, because it's Friday and we're all done. And I will see you guys again at 4 p.m. over on the Jewel Loom page, right? If you want to come hang out, we're going to make a cool bracelet using silver silk on one of the looms. And then you guys come back here at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget, come back at 5:30. I'm going to do snack shenanigans. We're not making any jewelry. We're just hanging out and having some fun to end our Friday on, oh yes, Wanda. I totally forgot. Hold on. Ending our week with a laugh. That's what we're going to be doing at 5:30. Okay, so come hang out for that part. Wanda asked a question. I'm glad she mentioned it. I'm like looking for the earrings and I have them on. It's like, where are my glasses? They're on top of my head. So yeah, Wanda had asked, could you hang a bead from the center of this, like a flower in the center of this? You absolutely can do that. There's a couple of different ways that you can do that. Probably for me, the easiest way would be to create some wire wrap around this wire right here, those wraps that are already there, and then do a wrapped loop underneath and just hang something in the center if you wanted to. I know that sounds a little bit complicated, but I promise if you'll just give it a shot and see. So basically what I would do, take a piece of 22 gauge wire, about 4 inches, wrap a little bit of it around the wire wraps that are already there. Turn this upside down, and I would do this before you do this part, okay? Turn it upside down and do your wire wrapped loop in the center, right? So then it's just going to be hanging down and you can hang whatever you want to from it in the middle. I hope that makes sense. There's actually a couple of different ways, but that's probably the easiest to explain kind of on the spot. But if you need to know more, Wanda, I expect there to be some snacks involved. I'm totally kidding. If you need more help, just let me know. Just send me a message. You guys know. All right, guys, that's it for me. Oh, she was asking how to put a bead in the middle of the flowers. Well, darn. Okay, forget everything I just said. No, you don't have to forget, because somebody might want to do that. So as far as putting a bead in the middle, so as you're wrapping around with your 26 gauge wire, pop a bead right there. Boop, and it'll just sit right in the center of those flowers, right? So you'll have a little bit of wire here, a little bit of wire here, but you'll have a little bead in the middle. I'd use something smaller than the beads that you're using on the outside edge. I'd probably go with like a 2 millimeter or a seed bead here in the middle. But yeah. Dawn said, can you one more time go over the Jewel Loom project? Yes, yes, yes. So for those of you who are still sticking around, some of you, when I'm done, you're like, I'm out of here. She talks way too much. But the rest of you, thank you for hanging around and listening to me gab on and on. So the Jewel Loom project, are you talking about the kit? I'll hit on that and then I'll hit on the project for today. So the kit for Jewel Loom that I am doing with Jewels, it's available for purchase right now. You will be purchasing the private instruction, which will happen on January 14th. But in the kit, you'll get everything you need except for the loom to make a pendant and a pair of earrings. And they're really, really beautiful. Like, really beautiful. And the actual pendant that hangs from the beaded sections of the earrings and the pendant are handmade. They're wood. They're gorgeous. You can alter them. They're amazing. So if you are interested in buying that kit and being part of that class, though, that is available for sale over on jewelloom.com. It's not hard to find. If you struggle, just click on kits and it'll come up. Okay. So definitely, if you were on the waiting list, those are for sale now. If you were not on the waiting list, there's a handful of them left. Please go grab them. I'll talk about this 2 more times today. So this will be the last time you hear about this. And then if you were talking about today's project, today we're doing a silver silk bracelet on the fiber loom over on the Jewel Loom page at 4 p.m. Come over, join that community, hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun, okay? Is this a monthly kit? That is the plan. We've started kind of slow, just kind of getting our feet wet, but the plan is to make it so that it's a monthly project that you will get every month. But for right now, it's just purchase this one, and it's kind of like our, it's like the beta version. Sounding all official. It's the beta version. You will not be disappointed in the project. That was absolutely gorgeous. I know, because I made it. That was really big-headed of me. I apologize. It really is pretty, though. So, all right. That's it. I'll see the rest of you guys over on the Jewel Loom page at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and the rest of you over here at 5:30 today, this afternoon. Snack shenanigans are happening. I will see you then. Bye, guys.